ShadowShapedCity uses literal, figurative and digital shadows to create new type of an urban space in response to the understanding of shadow. In the past, bridges were used not only as a way of crossing, but also had various functions. With the growth of cities, bridges began to be used as connecting structures for transport and pedestrians. In this case, ShadowShapedCity seeks to take the revival of the bridge functions as the basis of the project. From shadow simulation throughout the year exhibits the navigation between the ephemeral mystery of the shadows alongside the lights. Performing computational fluid dynamics for wind analysis exhibits the invisible movements that are felt but often unseen and brings to light its urban dominance. The selected datasets are mostly negative conditions. They are used as inputs for running the principal component analysis. The 18 input datasets are resampled and prepared for the algorithm. We aim to find out the figurative shadow regions with higher influence from the inputs. Then, we started to analyze the result in order to understand our shadow. Applying with the similar logic, the controversial urban areas was filtered again with revisited reselected datasets. The process of computational analysis was then repeated for identifying the site. From the algorithms, the shadow masterplan was set as the guidance to let the shadow shape the city, shadow bridging the visible and the invisible, the physical and the virtual, the well-connected and disconnected. Designed to assist the concept of the growth of shadow. Step 1 is applied with the twist of cellular automata. It tracks and simulates the dynamic urban processes in response to the local conditions such as points of interests. Custom vector-based algorithm is the second step, that is purposed for the agents to move affected by vectors, deviating them from the light to dark zones to determine the destinations. The third step is the particle swarm optimization simulation. The swarm simulation is set to seek the shadow-dominated conjunctions, picturing it as the gesture of seeking shadow inspired by the movement of pedestrians. The point clouds generated from simulations lays the foundation for design. In the design process, we formed a dynamic system of platforms on the water and on the ground. The integration and choice on different radius from the new network generated are tested to evaluate the spatial connectivity of each segment for bridge optimization. The shadow bridge will have one main connection, connecting both sides of the river. The system of platforms on the embankment as an entrance spaces and recreation zones are created. Along the path into the shadow, digital screens are set up as guidance, an atmosphere connecting people here right now in front of the screens browsing scrolling information with their originated places. We are proposing a dynamic system for the bridge that changes with time and blends with shadow. The main structure is the game of shadows. Connection across the river follows the shortest path among the networks of Octree system and the platform's movements. It's the main element of the whole system that aims to redefine the concept of the urban bridge in the age of information. Game of Shadow acts as the fastest connection across the river with the richest programs, including virtual space rooms, exhibition areas, recreation and retail zones and much more. The rest of the platforms remain as complementary connections. The second layer of our bridge complex consists of floating units with different movements. The trajectory of the first type of platforms is based on the simulation of fast tracks. The path into the shadows are designed to adapt to the optimized network and move accordingly. The exploratory rooms are guided to trace the real-time shadows. The design visualization exhibited shows the real-time user walk and on left, the augmented environment that can be interactively utilized by the users with the help of mobile phones or other electronic devices. The data environment helps realize the intensity of negative shadows around from human perspective. Finally, the design is imagined to interplay with the literal shadows coined as the shadow landscape.